In this episode of the Pad Bank, we speak to Lulla HF and Tame about their collaboration project, Me In Makkovik. Hello and welcome to the Pad Bank with me, Tony Brown. And this is episode number 23. And we're going to go ahead and call this season 2. So we're back. We've been missing for a while. You've probably been wondering, what's happening with the podcast, man? I know many of the members in the Pad Bank community, a few people have been reaching out on Instagram and other platforms saying, where's the episodes? Come on, man, what's happening? It's just one of those things. You know what I mean? Life just kicks in and it gets busy. But I appreciate your patience, and I appreciate your just expressing interest and concern about what's happening with the podcast and, what I'm up to and things like that. So, yeah, man, salute to everyone. I appreciate the community as always. But, yeah, man, it's good to be back. I was going to say it's good to be back behind the mic, but I haven't really moved from behind the mic. There's other podcasts and this type of content that I'm involved in. Fire Media as a media outlet is growing. So, it's just like, one project after another. There's a lot going on. So, yeah, man, I salute you all. Big up, respect, and all that good stuff. But, yeah, man, we're back now. And I'm excited to kick off this return episode with an interview. As I mentioned in the intro, we've got Lulla HF, who is a UK MC who actually lives not too far from me, which I was quite shocked about. You'll hear on the interview. He's literally, a couple of minutes away from me. And also Tame, who is a long-standing member of the Pad Bank community. And again, in the interview, he shares how, just being involved in the Pad Bank and, just being inspired and encouraged and motivated, that kind of led these two brothers to link up and put this new project out. So, yeah, man, looking forward to sharing that. But, yeah, just quickly, couple updates. We're going to change things slightly with the podcast here. So previously, again, if you're familiar with the episodes, you'll know that usually I do a review of the Pad Bank Flip It Challenge submissions. And based on something that Tame said in this interview, it's kind of caused me to rethink how we do things here. So what I'm looking to do is to widen the audience in terms of who can submit beats for review. So now I'm not just going to be reviewing the Flip It Challenge entries. I'll be doing that. But as well as that, I plan to have another segment where you can just send your beats in, whether it's part of the Flip It Challenge, whether you remember the Pad Bank or not, regardless where you're from. If you're making beats and you want some feedback, send them in and we'll have a segment where I review those beats and I'll just give you constructive feedback. So, I've seen a lot of other platforms and other beat review type content where man asking for cash app, send $10, jump in the queue, send $20, get some feedback, etc. I'm not here to take your money. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm here to contribute to the producer community. And I feel like what I can do, I can give you some constructive feedback. I know for me as a producer, I love to, I'll knock something up quickly on the MPC, and then I'll just take a quick snippet of it and just post it across my socials, and I might post it in a few producer groups. And I just like to get a feel, see what the feedback is. And I want to open that opportunity to other people. So like I said, previously, it was mainly just open to Pad Bank community members. That's going to broaden. It's open to anyone now. So if you're listening to this, if you're watching it on YouTube and you've got some beats put down, or you're working on something, you got some work in progress, and you want someone to give you some constructive feedback. I'm not here to criticize what you're doing. I'm not here to tell you it's whack and give it up. I'm not here to belittle you and, treat you in a way that is condescending. It's not about that. It's about constructive feedback, which we all thrive under. So yeah, if you think you will benefit from that and you want to have your music heard by a wider audience, then there'll be a link in this episode. Use that link, submit your beats or your beats. If you want to send more than one, feel free. I will review those submissions moving forward. So yeah, I'm excited about that. So yeah, man, always trying to do something different around here. Always trying to contribute productively to the producer community. So yeah, get your beats in, man. Let's hear them. As much as I haven't been, putting stuff out on a regular basis or a consistent basis, we're at work, man. We're at work. So yeah, man, salute to all the community. I appreciate you guys for continuing to contribute to the weekly challenges. Also, I just want to send a big welcome to the newest team member as well. So Gene. So Gene has been working with me for probably about probably 4, maybe even 5 years. I've been working with Gene for a long time. So Gene's a virtual assistant. She's supported me on a number of different projects. She helped me with my book when I launched my book. She's helped me build numerous websites. She's helped me on a load of different projects. She's done general admin for me. She actually built the Pad Bank website as well. So Jean is now, operating on a more of a consistent basis as part of the Pad Bank and the Fire Media team. So it's great to have her on board. If you are in the community, you'll notice Jean has taken over the posting of all the challenges. And just facilitating the whole process. So kind of it leaves myself and Swoop kind of frees us up to do other things. So, but also as always, big salute to Swoop Vega as well, my partner in crime. Again, he's been a consistent member of the Pad Bank and also a consistent support to the community in making things happen. So I can't stop bigging him up. You know what I mean? Salute, my brother. I really appreciate you. But yeah, man, big welcome to Gene. And listen, the team's growing. We're going in the right direction. So continue moving with us. And I'm excited to see where things are heading. So yeah, man, let's get into the interview. I made it. Produced. I cooked up. Killer Tame.
What's up?
How's it going, man?
Oh man, this is amazing.
Yeah, man. It's good to connect, man. It's great to connect, and
definitely,
I'm excited to hear how you guys connected, man. I don't know if it's a fact, but I feel like I might have something to do with it. I don't know why. I probably haven't, but I feel like I can claim a little bit of at least 1/4% of a royalty of something in the back somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, man.
We'll double that.
But yeah, man, listen, welcome to the Pad Bank. I appreciate you guys, connecting and jumping on. So I'm glad to kick off season 2 with you guys. So yeah, Killer Tame, Lulla HF. I want to hear the backstory. So Lulla, you're in the UK, originally from London. Yeah, and I'm calling you Killer. I'm calling you Tame. What am I calling?
That's fine.
Which one are we going with?
I don't have any preference. My name's Brendan.
Okay.
Whatever.
If
yeah, we're not.
Killer on the
I call him Tame. I just call him Tame.
Yeah, Tame. It's better than. I mean, I'm pretty fierce.
Yeah,
obviously.
I was going to say the video might get flagged on YouTube, so I don't want to keep saying Killer.
Yeah.
I don't want to get us flagged. Yeah.
Yeah, Tame. That's fine.
All right. Then. So Tame, where are you located right now? Where are you?
Yeah, I'm in Lincoln, Nebraska. So basically, right in the middle of the U.S.
Okay.
United States. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So just for those who don't know, so obviously me and Tame know each other through Tame being a member of the Pad Bank, and obviously we connected when we had a meetup. We had a Pad Bank members meetup, and we connected. Or did I just do a live or something? I can't remember. But we connected anyway, and we had a conversation.
Yeah, there's been a couple of them. I think you were testing out maybe the ideas of the podcast and tying in a FaceTime or Zoom element to it. And so I sent you a beat or two. And so like for me, I guess you're absolutely right that you have a connection. My beat making and the learning that I did entering in the Pad Bank challenges helped lay the foundation, give me the fundamentals about sampling and loving it. Like I've heard it in hip hop for years, you know, of course, since the dawn of hip hop, but like to actually then get the technology, you know, a computer that has a little sampler in it and actually put in a sample and chop it up. And then, so the option fatigue of going crate digging is like, and just finding stuff. And then how are you going to find a sample? To have a challenge set up where you're able to just, there's one track, download it off of YouTube and chop it up and see what you can do. That was really great. And above that, I think when I found the group on Facebook, I also found one of the early Pad Bank videos, I guess, where you went through and literally listened to the songs. Not just like 5 minutes for a Cash App bump or you know, 5 seconds and say, oh, that was fire, but you actually gave some criticism. And I come from a like fine arts background. And so I'm used to pinning up some photographs and having people tell me what they liked or didn't like, or if there were technical issues, the print was too light or too dark or too much contrast. And you were telling them like, you know, I need to hear like a bass line and just really great constructive criticism. And so I submitted the next week, and I think you took that week off or something like that. And I was like, oh man, I just wanted to hear Tony Brown, hear my beats and give me some feedback. Cause I don't know. So a track that we just released called Diagnosis was Pad Bank 58, I think. And, you know, and so that was a time where there was a tie between a couple producers, and they each had to select a sample. So we had two samples, and to be able to like, I'm just trying to like imagine what Riz is doing. Like, how do you take a sample from an entirely different song, different vibe, different key, transpose it, do whatever you need to do to massage it and put it in with another one. It's just alchemy. It's magic. So, I'm going to keep going just for 1 second, and then I'm going to make a handoff to Lulla here. But I posted on a subreddit, like hip hop collabs. And I was probably one of 20 people that it wasn't just a trap beat or something. No, nothing wrong with that, but just to have a little more old school kind of boom bap vibe to it. So I can only imagine what it would be like scrolling through and just being like, okay, kids these days. And then here's something with some hitting drums. What do you think?
Yeah, no, definitely. That was how it worked for me. I was just there. I was like, okay, nice snare roll. Oh, there's another snare. Okay. Oh, there's a pattern here, and then it's like, this sounds like music I make. Yeah. So who's this guy? Where is he from? Oh, Lincoln, Nebraska. All right. Let's let's start the conversation. Power of the internet, man. There we go. Music was made.
Yeah. So take us a step back then. So from your side, did you create that Reddit to say I'm looking for producers to work with?
No, I don't think I did. No, it was just cases just scrolling through just producers. I think, Just, it wasn't as direct as that. I didn't like post an advert sort of thing. It was just it's just kind of let me have a listen through, and you know, I like to keep an open mind when approaching that activity, because obviously as an MC, it's a you know, without beats I can't make songs, but it's when there's a lot of not the type of thing you're looking for, when you find it, it's you're grateful for it, and it stands out, and it's like, okay, this is
I think, and it was the same way. I was more so, I made the post saying like, I'm looking for an artist and an MC, and like I played in bands, punk rock bands, post hardcore, I don't know, whatever genres, but so I've been making records and, you know, getting in a basement with friends, writing songs, doing original work and putting it out. So I think I was dabbling in GarageBand and got an interface and had used a cracked version of Ableton years prior, but got kind of a legit basic version of Ableton, and with the simpler to slice do my slicing. So it was just, I'd been making beats and wanted to get it out there, and could maybe somehow I meet up with someone that liked it. Cause I knew also my stuff was different. Like, you know, and sending beats out for reviews for producers that just, we aren't speaking the same language in a way. So it was just nice to be able to, kind of make that connection somehow. Via the internet.
I used to see Lua on Instagram. So then when I saw you two connect, I thought, hey, like, how has this happened? You know what I mean? It was quite shocking. Obviously, I mean, if you take us back, Lua, a little bit, you've been on this for a while, as far as I'm aware, as far as I can see. You know what I mean? This is not your first project, obviously. You know, you guys have collabed, and this is your first project as a collaboration. But obviously, take us back a bit, man. Like, give us a bit of background about how you got into MCing and how, you know, your roads crossed with this project.
Yeah, like, so I'm like most UK guys, and I mean, I don't want to bait myself up, but mid-30s, and you know, so I grew up listening to, admiring things like drum and bass from an early age, like, you know, General Levy and them type of big type of songs, and then into like garage, and then the early stages of grime. By this point, I mean, I got into like pirate radio when I was about, say, 14, 15. So yeah, doing grime sets from that kind of time. And then the music I was listening to outside of that was like, I mean, I was introduced to hip hop from a real early age. My parents are like punk and rock people, but that even at that point there was still a lot of crossover. There was Public Enemy in the house. There was someone give me like a 2-pack album. I think it was All Eyes on Me album. So, you know, I was starting to piece together my own kind of taste and that sort of thing. So whilst I'll be going pirate radio and doing grime sets, I'd also be listening to, you know, what was bang on the time? Like,
I'd say
like Pharaoh Monch was one of the first albums that landed in my lap. I think that was one of the biggest one, and one of my favorite albums still to this day, the Eternal Affairs album. Obviously, like, you bake Eminem and that kind of thing, but that wasn't my introduction. There was earlier steps to that were like, hip hop is really for me. And then musically, I kind of wanted to slow it down after a while, and I was like, hold on, I've got a lot to say. Trying to say it at these big tempos or these big basses is, you know, it's a bit of a thing. So then I've really studied up on the UK hip hop side of things. Your Jest, your Task Force, Kalashnikov, Mice Diggy, Verb T, you know, the greats that are thankfully still busy doing stuff now. And that's pretty much how I evolved into the music that I make today, really.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Was your grime name the same as your rap name?
So my original name was Lullaby. So I was Lullaby for years.
Rocking
and my
sleep.
crew
Rocking MCs to sleep.
Yeah, literally. That was my thinking. When I come up with a name, I was like, like, this is a bit of an aggy name. And then people were like, no, it just sounds like you're some R&B guy. I was like, can you sing? Like, I got it a lot. Like, can you sing? I was like, no, I can't sing for softly.
We're rocking MCs to sleep right here. Okay.
So Lulla HF is just a shortened version of my older school name, and then HF is my crew from young, you know. So
so what's HF stand for?
It was originally Hoodfellas. Hoodfellas, or to be even more in depth, H.O.O.D, which stood for Holding Our Own Destiny Fellas.
Bro.
There you go.
And were you all from Camden area, or was it kind of citywide?
Largely from Camden. There's a couple from East London, because I grew up in Camden. I went to college in Hackney, and we linked up with a couple of MCs from Hackney, from Leytonstone, so from the east side of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at one point we was like 10 people strong crew. We was did one album, a real dope album.
Yeah.
Got a bit of Channel U coverage.
Okay.
So that's the kind of era right there.
Yeah, yeah. It's mad, you know, because that generation, like you said, grime was kind of the driving force for like Channel U, you know, and other kind of, you know, the radio stations. Enough people started MCing around them times. A lot of people got into MCing, and it was like, you know, you can look now and you can see quite a few of them still remain. And like I was working in youth centres them days, and enough of the kids, everyone tried to be MC. And out of that, say, bunch of 20, you'd have like 4 or 5 who really, they was into it, and they've carried on to this day. You know what I mean? And you can kind of see how the grime scene kind of raised a generation of MCs that have some of them stayed in grime, some of them went into, like you said, kind of UK rap or drum and bass or whatever. But, you know, definitely that era was a real uprising of MCs from the UK.
It's pivotal. It was the modern version of punk rock. I think for me, it did so much from, you know, being a fan of black music from a young age, and also being privileged to having, like, as I said, with my parents, that punk rock and that DIY music element, and that's the thing that me and Tame connect on. But then seeing the whole, like, the way that UK grime just made itself out of nothing, just all we had was literally pirate radio, like, and there was a time where all of our favorite MCs, no one knew what anyone looked like, because we didn't have,
it was the tapes
before the channel using, like, do you know what I mean? It's like when first time I heard Kano, I was like, wow, this guy sounds mad, like, but who is he? And it took a few years of being a fan of that voice and that flow, and and then you start connecting things, and then, you know, in this day and age where things are more documented and easier to access, but for so long, so many, you know what I mean, man didn't know what Dizzy Rascal looked like. What is a Dizzy, like, you know, stuff like that. So I'm very, very proud to just be a spectator of that stuff. You know, it's quite far removed, maybe from, again, a lot of the music that I make now. Yeah. But it's on a broader cultural thing, it's vitally important as things go.
Yeah, it's interesting because I can hear that in your music. You know what I mean? That kind of broad spectrum, you know what I mean, of genres, and, you know, some of the references you make. You know what I mean? It's not just like rap. You kind of pull from enough different, you know, life experiences, enough different genres and that. So it's, you know,
pop culture.
Yeah. So Tame, you know, you've been on a musical journey as well. You mentioned, you know, being in groups with, you know what I mean, people in the basement and that. When did you start taking, like, production serious, you know what I mean, in terms of, like, as a hip hop producer? And not to label you as a hip hop producer. You're a producer, you make music, but, you know what I mean, in terms of what I hear, I can say, boom, you know what I mean? Clearly my man knows hip hop. So at what point was it like, okay, I'm putting my head down in this and I'm getting serious in this?
Yeah, I would say 2018 or so was probably when I really was put, some work stuff changed. I'd work earlier, like 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then would be able to pick up my son from school and at like 3:30. So if I could get home from work early and get an hour and a half to, like, just start out like a sketch of a beat. And that would be like things from this beat tape that I made called Couch Beats that had some of these kind of, and it was really more maybe just abstract sketches mixed with, then I was picking up and actually getting, I'd heard of Alchemist, but like, also I guess getting like Amazon Music and Spotify and being able to like go like, oh man, they're like instrumental albums upon instrumental albums, and hearing these sound collages. And so that's what got me going, and then kind of made some upgrades in terms of going from like GarageBand to Ableton. But I'd recorded friends' bands in the bigger studios in town, like on the 2-inch tape when I was like 2000-ish. I was into the studio and kind of side of things. And we always had 4-track cassette players and little drum machines, noisemakers and stuff. So it just kind of, it was always a thing. Like, I've always wanted to be able to make beats, or I had like one of the first versions of Reason, and I've been thinking about unearthing some of these beats that I made that were just so bad, but just different sounds, and you can hear like, oh, okay, it's synth bass, and yeah, there we go.
I had 2.5. That was my. I was a 2.5 head.
Yeah. And just sitting there and being like, wow, if you hit the tab button and the panel swings around and the chords move, that was just magical.
Yeah. Loved it.
But so anyhow, but just then to get into it and try and I think a big thing was just finishing something, finish a song. So it was like an annual thing. At the end of the year, I'd go back through and listen to stuff, make notes. This had potential. This is an interlude. This is garbage. And then I made a kind of a beat tape and put samples on top of it and stuff. And so that's and then the quarantine stuff. I mean, like I got really virtually close with Lulla. Like we chat, record a voice message in and send in emails and beats. And he really helped me also like pull back the reins a little bit and overproducing and overcooking if I wasn't used to making beats for artists to be on top of. And so that's been a big struggle over the past year too. I've been making beats thinking like, okay, not going to put anything else on it. That's for the vocalist. And then people will be like, I just need something else. And I'm like, well, shit, I mean, I can layer synths on it, but maybe you just need to write something on it. But it's been an interesting project.
I want to come back to that point. So hold that thought in terms of your recording process and how you made the project happen. Obviously, I see a live drum kit behind you, and I've seen some of the posts you've been doing on your socials in terms of hitting a snare and getting a little strum and then kind of putting that together. Tell us how you incorporate your live instruments into what you do.
So there's a sound about samples, and I guess that also throwback to my intro. Like I'm 13, it's 1993. I'm listening to Dre. I'm listening to Wu-Tang. They sound different. So then and every producer, when you're starting up, you will keep yourself from releasing music because you don't want it stolen. But guess what? No one wants your beats anyway. And then like you don't want to get sued, but you're not selling any tracks or anything, so you're not making money and no one's hearing it. And you come up with all these reasons to not release your music. And for me, for a little while, I was scared about the samples and having uncleared samples. So I tried recording my own drums to get a snare, even down to like one shots. Like, I download a sound kit off of Reddit, and I'm worried that like it's a like a Mad Lib snare, and like, are they going to come arrest me or something? So it was a little bit like overboard. Like I want to learn how to make my own sounds and stuff. But then on the other hand, I've been playing music since I was a kid, been playing drums for 20 years. There's nothing like just getting a good recording, clean recording of a drum set, in the room. And so working that in, and bass guitar to have the life, not to, looking at like Jay Dilla, Questlove and stuff, the swing, the flow, the feel of unquantized music, and that it's human. I guess that's just where I want to head that direction. I like the mix of it.
I like the fact that I love live drums. I love breaks and things like that. Live bass, you can't beat it. So to hear that mixed with, a sample and then pieced together, again, it gives it that. I think it just makes it sound more organic. It gives it that life. You can't really beat it, man. So this project, what's it called? Meet Me. I'm gonna get it right. Meet Me in Makkovik.
Yeah.
Where the heck is Makkovik? I was looking at the map thinking, is this a real place? Like, where's Makkovik? Give me the backstory, man.
Yeah, Lola.
So Makkovik is actually a tiny little. I don't even know if it's classed as a town, but it's in Newfoundland and Labrador of Canada. So it's a remote little spot, lots of snow, and it's conveniently the central point between Lincoln, Nebraska and Birmingham, UK.
I knew it.
It's like to the mile or whatever.
Yeah.
That is the central point.
Yeah.
So it's basically meet me in the middle because it's a collaborative project, and the middle between me and Tame happened to be Makkovik.
Yeah, man, I knew it.
That's just an
I had
insight
a
into
feeling,
how the workings, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I had a feeling that's where it come about in terms of obviously you're both, you know what I mean, kind of virtually you set apart, but you're virtually working together. So I had a feeling that's what it was. Have you ever been there?
Because on the cover of the EP, we've actually got the link up. Like, do you know what I mean? We've got the map.
Yeah.
And it's all
okay.
No, I've never been there, but you know, if the numbers do right, maybe me and Tame can fund a random trip out there and
that's it, man. Have a launch party
record part 2 out there or something. Get a load of local instrument. I don't know, do something crazy.
Yeah, man.
Maybe have some fried fish or something.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Yeah, I'm sure it's banging for food over there.
No kidding.
I wonder if it's the warm part of Canada or like the freezing part of Canada.
No, it's definitely cold over there. Yeah, definitely. Husky country, it looks like.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You have to wear some big hats and big fur jackets. Yeah. All right, so tell us about the project then. Business. So, Meet Me In Makkovik. Tell us a bit about it in terms of, you know, again, we know how it came together, but how did it, you know, in terms of the recording process, the initial, you know, was it a case of just sending some beats, or did you already have the bars put down? Did you write to what you had? Do you know what I mean? Tell us how that all meshed together.
There was a little bit of both. I think we had maybe 3 beats pre-existing that we picked out or something like that. Tame might know the split better, but we was working through some of the beats that you already had there, and I was like, right, this works for this works, you know, let me write to this, I like this, you know. And then there was at least one where I started writing a verse. See, sometimes I'll just start writing without an instrumental, and then I clock the BPM, and then I work it. I've got a little BPM app on my phone, and I'll just go, oh right, that's actually, you know, that's 70 BPM. Okay, now I need a beat that fits it, you know. So yeah, it was a few different. Not every song, the process was exactly the same. I think there was a bit of a switch up on things, but it come together well. It's 5 tracks in total.
Yeah.
We cover a fair bit. I don't think any one of the songs is the same. They're not really a continuation of each other. There's a lot of range there within its own 5-track limitations. Got some real dope guests. So happy for the friends that we've made that come through and helped us get the songs to where they are.
I just have to pinch myself sometimes. Like, I can't just believe it, man. Like that we did it. And like, there were, you know, friends. I had a lot of friends that through the quarantine and lockdowns and got really into arts and focusing on new projects and stuff. And then others that weren't really doing much. And it was just like, man, what else do you have to do? Like, let's just make work. And like, I remember sending a batch just from this original Reddit kind of, we were even just chatting on Reddit and sent probably Google Drive link. And these were also still half-baked beats for me. Like, they weren't quite done yet. Yeah. And so like, Tony, the learning curve on this, on just like it's one thing to make beats in your basement, but to actually send them out. And then I'm still tinkering. Yeah. And then I even upgrade like and get a full legit Ableton thing and the push pad thing. And then I'm like, get some sound folders and I start switching snares for claps. And then we start sending files back and forth and adding vocals, and the featured artists are like, wait, this beat's different. Yeah. And I was like, wait, but I always like saved everything. So I'm not new to recording, you know, so I was like, okay, I'm dating and save as and reformat stuff. And so really had to go back and find old drum racks of like, oh no, this is how it's supposed to be. So again, never again for me would I like, just once you send stuff off, just set it down. But so we had to rework some things, and there was some stuff that I was like trying to be like a trap producer, and I did it in double time. So a beat that was like an 84 BPM really was 168 or something ridiculous like that BPM. And so getting the language down and how we talk about parts, or what a bar is, which is the same arguments I get with my friends and bands. Like, it's okay, just play your one, because I don't know where you're at. Just play me one measure. So I don't know. It was an amazing project. And then to have to do it also by text or maybe by a video chat. But also a few things to add to that, like, and this the process about, again, taking your craft seriously, but yourself not too seriously, I guess, is an important thing. And I remember getting some messages from Lulla about like, maybe we take this synth out, or we change this sound, or like, and my attitude was, I'm just lucky to work with somebody. Like, I'm going to slap some stuff up and see what works. And that stuff can be changed. Like, my vision on a beat is not a absolute, it's all changeable. And to just have a little bit of a thick skin, like, it doesn't mean like you send 5 beats to someone and maybe 1 or 2 might stick, or none of them, but like, just to keep going. And they'd be like, how about this? Also, I don't know where the boundary is. So I'm sending other beats and it's like, nah, that's not it. That's good. I see it, but it's not for me. Like, that didn't hurt my feelings. I'm used to pinning up photos, like I said, and people being like, this isn't working. So I guess, that was important. And then we'd already, I think Lulla had gotten some vocals on some tracks. And then this one afternoon in mid-June, I got a message and it said, how about this dark beat, maybe reference Griselda or something like that. It's slow, 70 BPM. And I came back like that day. Again, I don't have anything else to do. I'm in lockdown. That was the beat I made that beat breakdown for, called 70s Borstal. And basically sent him the shell. And it was not overthought, just quick moves, just some classic sounds. And then he was like, yep, double that for the verse, boom, send it, we're good. So it was just great to just get in motion. So it was a fun project.
Now I have to say, the whole lockdown has triggered a lot of projects, a lot of creativity, a lot of people to kind of say, you know what, I'm doing something. The amount of people that I know who have just been making beats and just, not really taking their craft too serious. They just do it. But then come lockdown, it's like, boom, I'm putting a project out. And even myself, I've put out, since lockdown, I put out 3 projects. Where prior to that, I was just in, in my loft, just making beats. So there's definitely a positive come out of that. In terms of the actual recording process, you said you were sending links via Dropbox or Google Drive. How did the recording take place? Like, who kind of took the lead there? Obviously, Lulla, you would have gone. Did you record at home? Did you go to a studio? How did it happen?
No. So I use a space called Chameleon Studios. Very blessed to have a super dope engineer, my guy Mojo. He recorded and mixed and mastered everything. His side, as well as that, he actually he introduced me to a singer, Nahanda, who sang the hook on 5 a.m. Man, she brought it to life, like really. So massive shout to Mojo every time. But yeah, Chameleon is a real dope spot, man. It's I've made loads of music there now. It's my musical home. Anyway.
Yeah, so you would bring, obviously, Tame, you would send just MP3
like a stereo wave file, usually, and then take all the limiters and stuff off the master bus, so it wasn't too loud for them, and then they'd put vocals over the top, slap a limiter on it, send it back as a reference, and we kind of go from there. And then and just kind of logistical hurdles of making stems. It was all stuff I hadn't really done before, and so I'd have to get on YouTube and figure out what was going wrong. And And I treated it probably more urgent than it really needed to be. But again, I didn't have anything else better to do, and had a lot of anxious, nervous energy with the global pandemic going on. So
it's understandable.
Yeah.
So you'd send Lulla the stereo wave file. You'd record what you're doing. Would you just record a full, like all the backings, everything, and then send that back? And then you.
I'm not sure how many sessions. There was maybe a pre-session, if you like, where I got the song down and then sent it back to Tame, just so because obviously we had guests and stuff that I needed to send things to and whatever as well. So yeah, it's not like I just went there and did it all in one day. It was a little bit of a stage to it. But then with the final process, we just had all of the stems for everything and mixed it all together there and then. And I was really pleased with how it came, like as a mastered project. You know, it's just like anything, because once you get to that stage, it's almost like it's already not yours anymore. You know, when you release music and you say, okay, well that's the people's now. They'll do what they want with it. But it was just a real nice step to just get it right, okay, everything, and it just you can finally start to listen to it like it's an external piece of work rather than just something that's been living in your head for months. You know what I mean? It's just a nice.
And even to hear vocals, like you said, you've been making these for Tame. You've been making these instrumentals. You know, just making beats. To hear that back with vocals on it,
smiling.
Yeah, go on.
Smiling ear to ear. Yeah, I was smiling ear to ear. Like I remember this one morning, I woke up and it was probably late one night that Lola sent me some files, and I went through a drive-through coffee place, got coffee, and walked. Sun's coming up, earbuds in, and I'm just like, oh my God, like this is. And then all of the artists are just great, and then but Lola's multi-syllable rhyme schemes and stuff, and there's just like and again, like I'm a few years older than him, but like dropping references to Judgment Night or Judgment Day soundtrack, and just I don't know, all this stuff that like I don't know, I just related to, and it was just like I don't know, I was just so grateful.
I'm trying to think, is there like a point of reference where an MC can understand what that feeling's like for a producer? Do you get what I'm saying? To be just making these beats and just banging them out, and then to hear a voice on it, it's like I can't explain.
To make the connection,
yeah, man. It's like yeah. You got it. It's
okay. So like when I heard the vocals on 70s Borstal, I knew that was a dark beat, and like those piano chords are, there's something not good is happening, and just to have it come back about had to learn about what a Borstal was, and just being like, whoa, okay, this is musty and damp and cold, and probably some billy clubs happening and stuff, and I don't know, it was you can't beat it, man. That collaboration, it's amazing.
So how
I need to put you onto a film. I need to put you onto a British film called Scum.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was
it's on Amazon Prime. It's on Amazon. Not
a direct reference, but that was a big part of it. It's a
serious film.
I just spoke to me, that man. Yeah, I've
cool.
always been Scum, good film. I'll send you something in a bit.
Yeah, I watched it not too long ago. On I was looking for samples on Amazon Prime, and that came up. And I remember this film, and I remember watching it as a kid and being shook, like, yo, I'm going to be good, I do not want to go there. I do not want to go to a place like that. And the worst, it was English as well. I was like, it was serious, man.
Fully.
Yeah. But again, Tame, I need to ask as well. So when you got that back, cause I'm going through the process at the moment. I'm recording with a few artists currently. And again, your beats, your beat, your arrangements, what you send is what you send. When you get it back, straight away, like something clicks, like, okay, you go back into arrangement mode. Like, let me drop this out there where he says this. Let me cut this out and put a little snare roll there. Did you go through that whole process?
A little bit. It was actually, I don't know if there was so much of that I've done. There's been a beat just more recently that I did that, and I heard that we need to accent that. I guess Mojo and Lulla did that with a few tracks and chopped some things out on the wave.
Okay,
and then so I went through my session and then dragged their wave file into my session so I could see on the waveform where they made an edit. And then I would remake that edit and then bounce the original MIDI or audio samples as a stem and then send it back to them. And they did the final mixing of it.
Okay.
I'd done some versions of it, but it was just better. Again, to not be able to be in a room and be like, no, bring the bass down a little, or like just in this one section, we got to bump the vocal. Like it's really, really difficult to do that virtually. So it was really great to just have a team, a known team with Mojo and Lulla to just finalize it. Like, again, like I feel more comfortable. I want Lulla to be happy I guess I identify more as producer than beat maker. Right. I think that's another interesting thing in the culture. Like, I have a BeatStars. I've got, I don't know, maybe 11 beats on it. I haven't even given a free beat for an email for my email list. It's been on there for like a year. I'm just going to cancel that shit because I'd rather find some friends on Instagram and just work through it slow and make that connection and make a custom beat for somebody than sell a $25 lease. I mean,
I'm the same.
I don't know.
I'm the same, man.
Yeah.
I'd have that connection and work with someone and just,
we're humans.
Yeah. I'm not really into the money.
We learn from each other, man.
It's not about the money. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather hold on to a beat. I had a guy before offer me like £25 for one of my beats. I was like, you know what? Just take the beat, man. Like, £25, like, just take the beat, man. Do what you're doing. just give me some.
Tag me in an internet post, whatever. Like, what is?
If you're gonna release it, we can talk publishing. Just, you know what I mean? I'll give you my my PRS number and we can sort that out. But by the time I get in my car and drive to the studio, I've spent that £25. So just take it. Just do what you're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lulla. So from a MC's point of view, talking to, obviously this podcast is predominantly watched and viewed by producers. From an MC's point of view, talking to producers, what would you say from your side made things work how they worked and come out how they come out, and what were some of the things that you thought maybe could have done that differently, or maybe could have improved that part of the process? Just for
again, you're not going to hurt my feelings.
We're past hurting each other. We're mean to each other and all sorts now. We're that comfortable.
The data period's gone. It's on Spotify now. It's out. So that data period. You're married.
That's it.
Yeah, man.
It's time forever. Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, I'm not a producer. I've got to be specific on what I say. So I'm not an active beat maker, but I am a beat maker. I've made beats. I've made beats and for artists, for myself. So I'm fortunate enough to have a little bit of that vision of side of things. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I think it's just nice having various things that me and Tame link on in ways of thinking, and even throughout everything, like down to political opinions or movie choices, or we both got an appreciation and involvement in punk music, and and we both view hip hop in a very similar way. We've got so having that amalgamation of things whilst making a project together is something real, like, again, to say that we're on not different sides of the planet, but there's a bit of a distance there. And for that to be able to be a coincidence or fate or whatever, however spiritual you want to get about it all, it's just dope that happened. But I'm not an Ableton user, so there's, in terms of, like, I don't know, if I was visually seeing song files or whatever, I couldn't necessarily be like, use that one function with the thingy button. I can't be able to, but the guy knows what he's doing. He makes dope ass beats at the end of the day. Just an honor to be able to jump on him.
Were there any points where you disagreed on anything? Where it's like, turn it up, no, turn it down, no? Were there any kind of disagreements at any point?
Nah.
I don't think so.
No.
Nothing that I couldn't get over real quick.
Yeah.
If it was like a quick edit, being like, all right. Oh well. Nothing. Yeah, I don't think we had really any issues. It was just really smooth. I mean, I guess also just understanding the difference in time and availability. We're parents and
what was the timeline
and
saying
jobs.
that? How long from start to finish, from you responding to that post or you connecting via that that Reddit to the release of the project? What was that timeline?
10 months.
Yeah, maybe longer than it should have been.
We held out a little, and we were ready to drop a full EP and just move on with our lives. But I think we made a smart step by dropping singles and just giving ourselves time to promote it on social media. And also the collaborations help, just with the different artists to get on other people's release radars and stuff like that. Playing that whole game.
And like I said,
we took a moment with it.
I was just going to ask about the marketing side of it. You mentioned, obviously, I saw posts on socials, and you still, you're still kind of actively referencing it, and you're doing your beat breakdowns on social. Yeah. How much sort of planning went into the marketing of the project?
There's never enough, right? But we did well. I think we spoke through a couple of ideas on how we was gonna do things. We've done some ads and stuff. I think it's gone well. I mean, you always think about, if we had an infinite budget, we'd do X and X and X, but that's not always the case. But I think we used the DIY ethos in it, and a lot of it was, I mean, because that's what hip hop in its origin is about. It's about making something amazing out of not very much, really.
Recontextualizing, resampling, reusing,
upcycling, and borrowing, and eventually giving back. But I think this.
But there was a rough plan in terms of. So when we came up with the idea, I think we had the tracks ready to just release, and Lulla got some advice to maybe, how many singles do you guys have, and what's the separation between those releases, so that you can, if you're able to get on some radio play, you need to allow Spotify to do whatever algorithmic work it's going to do. So if you're dropping a track every week, you may bump yourself out of a release radar. So you need to give it time to develop. And then, lyric breakdowns. I felt that beat was fun to make. And like, I figured it was one of my best performing Instagram posts, just showing just kind of a unique process of making a beat from scratch. And so just to be able to stretch it out and, every 4 days, stay up in people's face and, try and get a share out of it or something. And so there was a bit of a plan there. And, so we just released our third single, and then in 2.5 weeks, I think the full EP will come out, all 5 songs as one package. So a little bit, I think we did a medium, solid, a strong effort considering our budget and everything, we got
a video done for the first single, a proper video, in studio video. We've got the lyric videos, we've got Tame's side of things. Even my people were like, oh man, I loved watching the beat breakdown video, because I think the thing about social media, right, is that sometimes you forget that only your timeline looks how your timeline looks. So if you're, for example, obviously respective of the community, if we're talking about a producer's timeline, then you're going to know that 80% of that is going to be mixing down effects, or how to, how to resample something, or how to But when the wider, listener base, who might be skateboard heads or might be football fans, or but when something resonates and they're like, oh I really liked watching that video of Tame showing how he uses his instruments into you know. And yeah, some of my people were like, "Oh, that was really dope to watch," you know. And I'm like, yeah, it's just it's nice that it speaks to someone who isn't looking for that type of content all the time.
Yeah, you wouldn't think someone's going to be interested in, you know, how they chopped up a snare and how they layered the hi-hats, where we kind of take it for granted. Like, you're showing them behind the scenes, like they've probably never seen that before. Like, "Raw, that's how to do that."
Yeah.
No way.
It might literally be the first time someone's ever seen that. I mean, I'm a geek for that kind of stuff. Yeah. I love like the rhythm roulettes and all that. You know, I could watch that type of thing all day.
Yeah, I learned so much from those. Yeah.
But it's just, you know, it's important. I think, again, doing things on a shoestring as musicians, it's important to just go, you know what, you can have one song and make however many pieces of content surrounding that, like, and that's not necessarily veering into what some people find uncomfortable, or a little dancing routine TikTok type. It don't have to be that. I mean, it can be. Obviously, it depends on who you are as a musician and what else comes around that. Do you know what I mean? But it's like you can do so much with just in other ways of presenting maybe the same song over and over again. But it's, you know.
Definitely. Yeah. And I think not taken for granted, or not that's the wrong term. Like, not kind of belittling the little things that you think are simple, like a beat breakdown, a lyric video. Those they don't require a huge budget. They're not, you know, I mean, there's not a lot of production required. It's not like we're doing a big video. It's a simple thing, but it still works. It's effective. Like, people will be interested in it, you know what I mean? And sometimes I think we look at the bigger things, like, oh, we need to do a video for this, or we need to do this, you know what I mean? Something bigger than actually what we can do, what we've got in our arm's reach. So we shouldn't take those things for granted, man, at all.
And sometimes I think we're guilty of like cutting off our creatives at just the music. Like, I made the music and my job's done. You know, well, no, like, you're a creative person, create stuff.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Create something out of nothing. I was going to ask about, so just to confirm, it's totally independent. It's you guys just, you know what I mean, you're just making it all happen. There's there's nothing else behind it, no other sort of entities involved. It's totally independent.
No label, no publisher, no nothing. It's just us two, man.
And again, I think it's important to highlight that.
Coca-Cola money or anything.
Yeah, none of that. No.
Yeah.
No Kickstarter.
We're industry plants. Me and Tame are industry plants.
Yeah.
Shills.
That's it, man.
Purely for the love of it. Just out of the appreciation, just fans and.
Well, I think it's important to really emphasize that as well, because again, when I look at the project, even just like the cover, the artwork, you know what I mean, the sound of it, the way it's mixed, it doesn't sound like a DIY project. But again, even saying that, what does a DIY project sound like? All I'm saying is it doesn't sound low budget. It's well produced. It's well presented. The artwork's solid. You know what I mean? And that's, I think, to me, it's it's motivational. It's inspiration to others to say you don't need a big budget behind you to put something out that is good. It's a good project.
No, definitely not.
You know what I mean? So
thank you, thank you, man.
Yeah, no, man. That means a lot. Yeah, make work, right? Like, just do it. That could have just sat on our hard drives.
That's it.
You know, like just put it out. Do it. Make work and move on and make new work and grow. Like, that's been my life between bands and photography and everything. It's just like, just do it. And a really big thing that I think helped us finish this was the fact that I put together a couple of the Pad Bank submissions that I'd done in 2018 and just some other stuff, and just tried to finish something. Make 10 tracks and put it up on Bandcamp. And just do it. And it doesn't have to be perfect.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
Your Instagram videos don't have to be perfect. Like, that human quality makes them special. And so,
and that's how classics are made. You know, again, if you used to go back to, let's say, for example, the 36 Chambers, the amount of mistakes on that album, you can hear, you know, bars getting cut short, or, you know, backings are off. There's times where you listen to it. I know Reza sometimes cringes when he must think, I can't believe I let that come out like that. That is a classic. Sure. It's an absolute classic, and that made it what it is. That was that rawness. Like, this is raw hip hop. You know what I mean? If he would have waited to perfect that, we wouldn't have had what we had. So what I'm saying is, you know, there's stuff that we've got on our hard drives, and I say we as a community of producers and artists. There's stuff we've got in pads. You know what I mean? Stuff we've got written in scrapbooks that could be classic material, but perfection is holding us back. You know, just put it out. You know what I mean? Obviously, do it to the best. Do it the best it can be done with what you've got. Put it out and let it be. You know, move on. Like you said, just move on, man. So yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah. Question. It might be a little bit invasive, but again, it's for the community. Budget-wise, approximately, how much would you say this project cost you from start to finish to put out? Just to help someone sitting there thinking, I ain't got the money to do this. I'd love to put something out, and these guys, they got this and they got that. How much would you say this cost you to put out?
I mean, recording-wise, it's maybe 200 quid, 200 pounds, 200 Great British for the internationals. Obviously factoring in that Tame's invested over time into all the gizmos and gadgets that they're helping make dope sounds. And then, we put, I don't know, maybe 1 or 200 quid into like promotion and getting assets and that kind of thing. So, I mean, you can do a whole lot with
less than $1,000.
Definitely. You can achieve a lot with less than that kind of kind of money.
Yeah, I think that's similar from like on the band background. A couple days in the studio, $500 or $600, maybe $400 for like a good mastering job. But like meanwhile, I picked up some software, some nice plugins and emulations, and so so it's kind of hard to put, and it's like or in the middle of it, I got the Ableton Push, which was, I sold the guitar. So I don't know. It was all just constant upgrades and stuff. But I think you're right, Lola, about that price. I mean,
but we've seen a fair bit of that back already in terms of. I mean, and the full thing's not even out yet. We did a couple specials on Bandcamp using the Bandcamp Fridays and that. We've shifted a couple T-shirts and that. So it's just nice that. It's nice that people care enough to want to support in that kind of way. And then, but then also there's more that can come from this if you, I mean, I've got sync contacts and stuff like that I want to be placing this with and that kind of thing. So it's not just I'm going to spend a load of money and then that's it. And then, but at least I've got but even if, I was saying this to someone recently, like I don't want to bore you with a complete, but I've been sober for nearly 2 years now. And like the money that you spend on a night out or something like that in comparison to making music,
it's nothing.
It's just, do you know what I mean? It's so justified. You think, like even if this whole project cost me to the button £1,000, but what else was you going to do, and how badly was you going to damage yourself, waste your time, maybe upset loved ones, and in that space? You know what I mean? So
it's true.
Whatever the overall result of a project is, it's just nice to do that for yourself and to have that experience, and to that's what it's about. That's what music's about. I mean, if you're not doing it because you love it, then you're in a spot of bother. If you're making a shed load of money and you don't like music anymore, then fine. Congratulations for you to get into that place. But it's like, what are you really here for? It's like, it's music, and if you're there because you love it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, again, it's this story and just the connection and everything, and the way this whole project has come to pass. It's inspirational to myself, and I think to many others in the Padbank community, and just the wider community who listen to this. The fact that you guys connected online, you're in total separate parts of the world, and you know, I mean, you've come together and you've made this happen. It just shows that, you know, we've got no excuse, man. There's no excuse. There's producers out there who are kind of probably scratching their head saying, you know, there's no MCs around by me, and you know what I mean, I can't find anyone, don't know anyone. Yo, just put your stuff out. Just reach out.
Put the feelers out.
That's it, man. Yeah. Just reach out, because there's an MC somewhere who would love to have the beats you're making, that you're thinking, oh, these ain't good enough. You know what I mean? I'm wasting my time doing this. This ain't good enough. There's someone out there who they would love to be able to go through your catalogue and say, yeah, man, that one, and that one. That's a project there. Let's do it. So
even as an observer, I mean, I've checked in on a few of the Pad Bank challenges and stuff. I like listening to producers. You know what I mean? And there's so much talent in your circle of things, man. I really dig what's going on there. So it's real nice just know people making great music. You know what I mean? It's just great.
Yeah. All right. So if you had to direct the audience somewhere to go and find out more about you guys, to go and check out the project, where do you want them to go? Do you want them to go Spotify, Apple, Bandcamp? Where do you want them to go? Where are we sending them?
Bandcamp's always best, you know. But yeah, it's everywhere. It will be everywhere as of Friday.
June 18th?
No, it's this week.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the official launch date?
June 8th.
June 8th.
Yeah, everywhere from this Friday. We've got the full thing will be on Spotify, Apple Music.
Cool.
Okay.
Wherever you go.
Yeah. So this will be out by then. So make sure you go and check that out. Meet Me in Makkovik. The full project will be out on June the 8th. Killer Tame, Lulla HF. Let's get it going. Yeah. So yeah, any final words? Go on.
Yeah, Tony, I guess I just, you know, thank you. Like your calming voice, your positive attitude, you're direct, and like I don't know, give the feedback, you know, and that what you do for the community is amazing. And so this has been an honor to talk to you. Like, and I don't know, it's been great, and to share it this time with my friend Lulla. It's been really special. Yeah. So thank you for your time. Thanks for everyone else's time.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, appreciate it. And again, just to pay back what you're saying, the fact that you two are on here and there's a project out, you know what I mean, and I can say I kind of contributed to that. That's why the Pad Bank exists. That's why the YouTube videos are out there. You've heard me say it a number of times. I'm just here to inspire people and just say, you know what, just do your thing. So this is the fruit of that. So I salute you guys, man. Let's put a round of applause in there to close it out.
Can we get the Pad Bank? A couple of the Pad Bank sample. Do you have it on the pads queued up?
Hold on. Which one?
The Pad Bank.
We got that one.
That's the one.
That's the classic one.
The Pad Bank.
Yeah, man.
There we go.
All right, guys, listen, I really appreciate it, man. It's great having you on. And who knows, we may talk again when the second project comes out.
We'll see, man. Definitely.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice one, man.
Thank you, guys.
Respect. I'll
Tony,
speak to you again
love,
soon.
man.
Take care.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks, brother.
All the best.
Man. Respect.
Take care. Nice one.
I made it. Produced. I cooked up. Fire!